If I were king, it would be a must that everybody have a hobby. Certainly not a new idea, but if you've not tried it, do, for you'll be amazed at how delightfully absorbing and relaxing it can be.
I've started a toenail collection that I'm quite proud of. It includes such gems as the clippings I obtained off of the shoeless bum at Admiral and Troost in downtown Kansas City, and some clippings that were made in China but were harvested at the KCI airport from some Chinese Freemasons who were in town for an impromptu meeting at Applebee's.
Greetings, fellow Earth babies, and welcome to Post-Punk Heartstrings. You know who I am. I'm Jimmy James S. Butler, and it's time for part 2 of our interview with Richard Ploog. Hopefully each of you tuned into episode 46, which was part 1 of our Richard Ploog interview, and you have come back for more. In the last episode, we got acquainted with Richard and learned about how he got interested in music and he began playing the drums, and heard a little bit about his perspective on his time joining the church and making the wonderful albums that they made in the 80s. And on this episode, we're going to chat with him a little bit more about his life after the church and the numerous projects that he has been involved in as he continued to hone his craft and perfect his arts. He really branched out a lot in his talents and songwriting and producing and everything that goes along with that. So thank you so much. I'm not going to go on and on like I did last episode in the introduction. I'm just going to give you a brief one, and I'm going to send you right into the second half of our conversation with Richard. You also, after the church, you played with Peter Koppes in the Well.
That's correct.
So how did that come about? Like, he just invited you? You said, hey, want to collaborate, you know?
Yeah, he did. He invited me to come and play because, he was always like, from the day one that when we first met, from the audition, he was my most vocal advocate, more so than the others. The others were, in a very comfortable place together, like Marty and Steve were in a very comfortable place. They'd released the first album together, and so they developed this really, really strong bond and relationship on a whole heap of levels. And so it was always a little bit on the periphery of their bond, as far as the group dynamic goes, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he also being this vocal advocate, being the songwriter and solo entrepreneur of recording material, he wanted to put this band together, and so that was called The Well. And he got some local Australian musicians from these really cool bands, like the bass player was from the Celibate Rifles,
mm-hmm.
and the keyboard player was from this really cool Australian band called Flowers, which were really amazing, really amazing creative band that I used to see, back in my hometown, and very, very impressive. And, they really were an amazing band. And so, we recorded this album called Water Rites, which is a fantastic sounding album, and very, very pleased to have been a part of it. and yeah, we toured some shows in Australia, and we tried to get a deal with Mushroom Records in Australia. And the AR guy, Michael Gudinski, came to see us play, but he didn't take up the option for us, and so it kind of stalled. And so then we just sort of parked it, and yeah, it's been there ever since. So yeah, there's a kind of like a whole things that still could come out from that
cool.
that idea.
Shortly before you started work with Groom Epoch, you did some gigs with Steve Kilbey, is that right? And Marc Gable. And how did that come about?
Gable. Yeah, that's right. Steve Kilbey and Marc Gable. Like, Marc Gable's from another really like a classic Australian band called the Choir Boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. The Choir Boys. And so it's interesting, the Choir Boys in the church.
Yeah.
Made for each other.
Yeah.
And so like Marc Gable's like a really cool guy, great singer. And Steve's really great the way he's really open to collaborating with so many artists. I mean, I'd really love him to collaborate with Anton, from Brian Jonestown Massacre. Would be a wonderful collaboration.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Anton's a huge fan. He's a huge fan of Steve's music in the church. And yes, anyway, Steve collaborates with so many artists, and he's, also extremely prolific. Marty does as well. He's second on the rung of, prolific collaboration, portfolios. He's got an incredible one as well, and Pete too. And yes, so Steve's, creative calling had found him, working with Marc Gable from the Choir Boys. And so he had some time and wanted to do a tour, of the east coast of Australia. And so he thought, why don't we get not myself, but he was saying, why don't I get me to play? And so we got together, and the show was it was all covers. We were all doing
cool. Okay.
Yeah, we were all doing covers of 70s and 60s. We did the Easy Beats, we did the Masters Apprentices, which have some amazing songs. We did Smiley, which is another amazing song, of Australian chart hits from like the mid 60s, Easy Beats, to like the early 70s of Australian chart songs, or not. Yeah, pretty much Australian. And so and it was great. I mean, it was real cool fun, and it sounded good, and we all played really well, and it was a buzz, total buzz to play with Steve. I mean, because it's just all these good memories, and so it's just like really surreal to actually play with him again from that was 2014, long time, 25 years.
Yeah,
since
wow.
we played together. Yeah. So it was great, man. It was really cool. And it's funny, like speaking of Iboga gazebo, like I tried some Iboga before our show in Newcastle, which is, a little north of Sydney. And I had the most wonderful, like psychedelic medical experience, it was just wonderful. And
did you try some gazebo as well? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, it sounds like shabu shabu. You heard of that?
Shuba shabu or something.
It's a Thai-amphetamine, like
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Spoiler alert, kids. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. We're not trying to endorse anything.
No, right on.
Put a disclaimer on the show.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so, please, be it me, yeah. Like so yeah, and anyway, yeah. So Steve was smoking this. He was taking his herbal medication in the backstage of this really cool show that we were doing on this Marc Gable, Richard Ploog, Steve Kilbey show. We didn't really have a name. So and like the dude from the venue, not the promoter, just kind of like the thing said, "Hey man, you can't smoke that here." And like, you know, I didn't smoke mine. I went out to the park across the road. But Steve didn't. He smoked his in there, and he said, "What's he on about, man? Telling me to not do that." You know, I thought, "Good on you, Steve. You tell him.
That sounds like Steve.
You tell the man."
What about Mark? Is Mark just not even partaking?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. You know, Mark has just had a very young new family member, not too young. I mean, I remember his wife and kid came to the show, but no, he was, you know, he was kind of like in the grips of like of his familial focus. So
yeah, as he should have been, you know,
as he should have been, right
at that time. Yeah. Let's talk about Groom Epoch. Am I saying that right? Groom Epoch. Is that right?
You're saying it beautifully. You're saying it very effectively.
I'm going to shout it. Groom Epoch. Okay.
Yeah.
How did Groom Epoch come together, and did you recruit members, or did it kind of form organically?
Yeah, I recruited members, and like Groom Epoch, it's named after like Area 51 in Nevada. There's a lake there called Groom Lake.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was named after that. Okay.
Yeah, so it's actually like, you know, the last name of, you know, Mr. Groom, you know. It's probably an explorer or something. But it's one of the features of Area 51 is Groom Lake. I think that's kind of like a testing area. And so Epoch, you know, I know this isn't exactly answering the question, but I'm going, if you will, bear with me.
Absolutely.
Epoch, is like an age, and so
right,
referring to like the technology of that area and like the age of that technology, Groom Epoch, and so that really is the masthead of the concept. I mean, you know, it also means other things as well. You know, the other one, it means about that humanity's bit is groomed, you know, and, you know, mankind is groomed, you know, for agendas that aren't mankind's agendas, you know, for their own, you know, fortune and fortuity and well-being. And so, you know, like the lyrics of the band address that. And as far as like the forming of the group went, you know, I just recruited other musicians from bands, and, you know, who were happy to work with me. And, you know, I got some really cool musicians together, like, you know, I got this really cool band player called Phil Hall, which actually played on Curious Yellow way back in the day with Corin Janssen, the co-writer of Milky Way, Steve's partner.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he was a big fan of the church and a wonderful bass player, incredible Phil Hall. Got him to play bass, and then a guy called John Hoey from another really amazing Australian band called Die Pretty. Who else? Yeah, then
well, I was going to ask about Amanda Brown from the Go-Betweens. I really like that band.
I do too. I love the Go-Betweens immensely. I mean, they're just a brilliant band, and I know those guys very well, especially Robert and Grant and Lindy and Amanda. And, you know, I toured with them in the very early days when they were a three-piece on their like very first album in the Brats, like as a sideshow in Exhibit A. We came together like when I was in the church in the very early 80s, and we did some recordings with Tracy Pugh from Birthday Party in Melbourne, and then we did a couple of shows, and we played with the Go-Betweens then because they were friends with Exhibit A. And yeah, so Amanda, she's also plays on the Gazebo album.
Okay.
Yeah, she plays on a couple of tracks on that, and on the Groom Epoch album,
She brings some really interesting things, I think.
She does. She plays on every track on Solar Warden, and she plays some really interesting things. And she's amazing. I mean, just she's just like a great chanteuse and natural creator and, possessor of, a really unique, specialness. And, she was happy to, come and play on the album. And yeah, it was just absolutely amazing. And she's in the video as well on that album, on the Solar Warden album.
She dancing in the front.
Oh, what was that, Jim?
Sorry, James, what was that, man?
So is she dancing in the front? Or there's one video where you have somebody dancing.
That is an actor.
Oh, okay.
Dancing, a good actor dancing in there.
Yeah. That's the kind you want in your video, a good one.
Yes.
Now, Amanda does also some backing vocals, right? Does she do some vocals?
She did. You can hear her backing vocals on the Cosmic Artifice track, where she sings at the very end. You can hear it. But only that. She only made an appearance on that track. Yeah, I mean, she has a wonderful voice too. I mean, with her own releases, she's got a really cool voice, and she gets hired to do soundtracks for a lot of television. And yeah, she's got a really cool voice. Yeah, but and like the engineer suggested her singing on that track. We didn't really think to put her vocals on the album. Her guitar playing and she had a harp, harp.
Yeah, I can hear that. I think that's on more than one track. I think, right? The auto harp. Yeah,
absolutely. And I asked her to play the oboe because on Bye Bye Pride, she's got that really amazing melody line of oboe, which is just one of the most gorgeous melody lines, I've heard. I'm not sure who wrote the melody line. Would it be Robert or Grant or Lindy or Rob, Mr. Vickers or Amanda herself? And so I asked her to play the oboe. She said, I don't really play the oboe. So I was surprised to hear that. Says, mostly play the violin and the electric harp. Yeah.
So tell me if I'm wrong, but there are 3 Groom Epoch albums. Is that right? There's 3?
Yeah, that's correct.
And I think one of them, the first one, Scholar Trails, if I'm saying that right. Yeah. That one's, that's right. Where can you find that? That's a bit hard to find, right?
Yeah, that is. I mean, it was at one time, it was on the platforms, on the digital platforms and on the big platform.
The devil, Spotify. I'm just kidding. It's not on there anymore though, right?
Right. So it's now only it's only on CD now. So so that it's available on CD, and I'd be happy to send you guys a copy. We can talk after the show.
Yeah, I would love that because I think it's hard to find anywhere.
100%. So whatever you guys want to do, I have the CD available. I did have a record company, that was selling it on a website shop, but for the moment, it's just on mail to any individual that is that is in receivership of one.
Cool. Awesome. The second album was Solar Warden, and then Initiation followed that one. And it seemed like when I was listening to them, it seemed like there was a little bit of the shift in sound, maybe. I don't know if that was my imagination, but between the 2 albums. Do you have a comment on that, or do you feel any way about that?
Yeah, well, like the Scalar Trails, that was recorded in a different studio from the next 2, from Solar Warden and Initiation. Scalar Trails was just kind of like the it was the proto album. And so the next two were recorded in the same studio, but the Soul of Ordinary was recorded in the big room of the studio, and then Initiation was recorded in the small room of the studio.
Oh, okay.
As in overdubs, but most of some overdubs were recorded in the big room as well on Initiation. But yeah, that's interesting, Jimmy, that you hear that. Yeah, I mean, for sure, I know you'd know, man, because you know you're like me and James, like we know that how we get good with our music is we're using our ears. We really like got this strong relationship with our ears. And so it's amazing, isn't it? I was thinking that the other day, you know, like it's all about that. It's a real like discipline and focus, you know, to do that. And so, yeah, wow. Yeah, there's no real reason because we've got the same producers and the same personnel involved in working with it. Yeah, so yeah, I'd be happy to volunteer, you know, to appease your curiosity about that, man. But yeah, there's no explanation for it.
Yeah. There's a certain cadence to your vocals. I feel like they're kind of almost poetic. This isn't all the work of Groom Epoch. It sounds like it's almost poetic, and there's kind of a up and down lilt, a cadence to your delivery.
Yeah.
Was that consciously stylistic, or was that just something that kind of emerged naturally, you know, in style?
It's a natural emergence, you know, it's a natural emergence in the style. And yeah, I mean, I know I can hear exactly the reference, and it's a kind of like it's a motion of impression through the voice in the receiver interpreting the concept. So it's yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's different. I mean, no, not really. I mean, it's not. I mean, I hear that on Subterranean Homesick Blues, but it's more of a direct, you know, mono kind of delivery where, you know, there's a certainty in it. So I don't know. There's a certainty in my delivery as far as this vocal style goes.
That's a good way to put it. That certainty, I think.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's this kind of playful, kind of like this playful kind of acceptance of this outrage, I guess.
One of the other comments I have which for me is what I usually enjoy in music, is the vocals are they're in the mix, kind of sitting beneath the surface a little bit. So you have to I enjoy that because you have to it's like mining for gold. Like, you know, you're trying to decipher the lyrics and exactly what they are and kind of unraveling what they mean. So that's just a comment, not a question necessarily.
Oh, well, that's a really, you know, like it's, you know, like there's this understanding that in mixing that you know, as far as the vocals traditionally go, they're always, you know, in the foreground and they need to be heard and everything like that. And, you know, I try to do that as well because I know in the interests of, I don't know, the form or whatever, the art, it's best practice. And yeah, I mean, but I dig that too. Like, you know, I'm fine with any kind of, you know, delivery. You know, I'm really open to anything, you know, and if the mix comes out and the vocals like that, that's cool with me as well, guys. You know, I really dig that too. Yeah. And you know, all of my critics, you know, emphasize the fact that, you know, the lyrics and the vocals, you know, number one, need to be decipherable and legible. So I would assume, you know, from a technical level, that means that the vocals have got to be, you know, prominent within the mix. And so I kind of feel to do that, but at the same time, like if it happens that it doesn't eventuate when, in the creative process, then I'm totally cool with it, man.
Yeah, cool. Is there a certain message or drive behind Groom Epoch's music? Is there something you're hoping for listeners to take away?
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, I sort of like had that it's just basically it's the message is like this place that humanity is in, and it's like an ideal, really. It's an ideal vision and an observation of the history of the suffering of humanity and the struggle on a global level that we see through time, and it's basically an observation of that and how we have got the tools to save ourselves and own our world, and control it the way we want to control it. And, I think that would be very important for the future of humankind.
Cool. Yeah. Good answer. I think Jim may have a question.
Hey, Jim.
I'm going to give him one question, Richard.
This is my question. Are you a surrealist? It was a question from an old interview from the early 80s. Somebody asked.
Oh, yeah. Well, like if I could,
Are you still a surrealist?
Absolutely. Well, if I could be, so bold to claim that title, 100%. I mean, from that artistic vision, surrealism, Dadaism, and all of the greats, all of those things where they're, portraying an idea in particular about reality that is a kind of like an expression of one's place within reality. Like, that's what I perceive when I see Dali. I think that he is, he's making a statement like that. And I'm sure, for sure I would, because I know from the most earliest of days when I was interviewed, the interviewer asked me when I was about 19 on this Australian TV show called Simon Townsend's Wonder World. He asked me, Jim, she asked me, Jim, she said, I don't know exactly what the question was, but I ended up saying, like there's a lot more than what's going on within this reality. And so I'm through myself and how I express myself. I'm kind of, that's my prime emphasis. So, and so that's kind of surreal. That's what I guess how you might want to define yourself as a follower of the surrealist philosophy. And so, yeah, I must be, man. I totally must be a surrealist.
I
guess so. Huh?
I think that comes through with your music. How does surrealism and abstract ideas shape your approach to, writing your songs and the production as well?
Yes, that's true. I mean, I guess it's from being comfortable with an open mind, and not being afraid to experiment. These things I hold dear, and it's been kind of like a life obsession, really. To like defy and challenge the consensus, and so I do that in everything that I do, and it's annoying for people, on a non-artistic level, but it's great for songwriting and production and all of those things. It works well in that form in all kinds of ways, as in a audio way, in a visual way, in a written way. What the viewer enjoys. It's interesting why they enjoy that. I enjoy it too, and I don't do that consciously. It's an innate part of my psyche that I continue to draw upon that, on that wellspring. Yeah, I just find myself doing it in all of my opportunities. Yeah, in general.
Cool. We're not going to dive into every song on Groom Epoch, but I have a few that I'd like to ask questions about or make comments on, if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely okay. Please feel free.
Yeah. So the first one I was going to talk about was Love Divine.
Sure.
And I just felt like there was a lot of compelling layers in the music. There's some crunchy type guitars, and there's sort of some type of electronic, it's almost like a sprinkling. I don't know if it's auto harp or something else, but it's some sort of electronic, like almost sprinkling of, little electric noises. And then there's a fade out that was kind of like a bass. It might be a bass or a guitar kind of interesting fade out. So if you could comment on that, and also like what inspired this specific track.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that would be like the keyboard player John Hoey's contribution with those kinds of sound effects, and then Brett Meyer's, wonderful guitar work that would have given you that the guitar sound as well. And that song is Love Divine. That's song about, I guess, it's about, the relationship, between, a love relationship, between people, and to make it divine, as a kind of like a form of, liberation and therapy and, spirituality and all of these kinds of things. And, keeping it kind of like on a high frequency, on a very high vibration in that sense. And yeah, so it just sort of like is just looking at how how that can be created and maintained, hopefully. And yeah, it's just it's kind of like it's a idea that, a therapeutic suggestion that might be a really, really kind of like beneficial approach to relating, in a loving relationship, but mostly not really so much in a familial sense, more in in an adult, sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool. The song Earth First. I don't know if I have the lyrics quite right, but I think it says broken statues stand in the sun, telling correct. Tales of what we both have done, but I'm not sure if that's right or not.
Yeah, that's really cool. I wish I said that. I mean, absolutely. No, that's
I was trying to fix it for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you do. We ought to. Us three want to be writing songs together.
We should
I bet they'd be really.
We're going to collaborate from here on out, buddy.
It's just that last part. What we have done is it's broken statues stand in the sun, telling tales of what people have done.
People, gotcha. Yeah. So, by the way, there's a really brilliant guitar solo in this song. I don't know who's doing all these guitar solos because there's a number of them in these songs. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's Brett Meyer's, Jimmy. Yeah, from Die Pretty. Like he's just yeah, he's just an incredible guitarist and does the most amazing lead solos. Just absolutely wonderful. And yeah, that's why I wanted to hire him to play guitar on that album. Yeah, he's just yeah, incredible.
Locked in isolation, trying not to forget that the world leader's not a peaceable marionette. Broken statues stand in the sun, telling tales of what people have done. Babylon and their lies expect nothing from the compromised. Broken statues stand in the sun, telling tales of what people have done. Babylon and their lies expect nothing from them. A hope for so much better for humanity. First, no war and equality. A hope for so much better for humanity. First, no war and equality.
It's an ideal example of Brett Meyer's guitar playing. He's got one of the most iconic lead solos I suggest of all time, and that's a song by Die Pretty called "Out of the Unknown."
Cool.
Yeah,
Out of the Unknown. Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
You've given us a whole bunch of stuff to check out.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
my pleasure.
So can you walk us through what the song is about? Earth First.
Yeah, well, Earth First. Yeah, it's observing, like the state of the world and the realities that it faces as far as geopolitical concepts go mostly, and that's
Yeah.
the usual struggles that humans have faced for a very, very long time now. I mean, yeah, an interestingly very long time. Probably, I don't know, it's open to debate, but I don't think when we were living in caves we were doing it then, but ever since steel came around and iron and bronze, we've been doing it. And so wars, I don't think we really own it. I don't have this kind of belief or understanding that it's within the human. The human isn't like that. The human has to be trained to take up arms and to do the diabolical. But yeah, so I go into it in other songs. I unpack that idea. But yeah, I don't believe that we humans do that. We're not the engineers of wars. I don't think any of us are. Even the top brass is either. Anyway, it's about that. It's about the wars and looking at the world and the rights of humans and equality and all of those liberties that we hold very dear. And so it's just observing and like in a sense where there's drama to it and alienation to it in an observed sense.
So speaking of the state of the world, you mentioned that like the song "Fodder for Zion."
Yeah.
in the darkest moment on the blackest night.
Yeah.
And I'm missing some of the lyrics again. I'm trying to hear them. Then it says something about you brought the light, maybe?
That's correct.
Or close to that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's
or
correct.
close to
No,
it?
that's spot on, Jimmy.
Okay. So that's pretty powerful.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out the instrument in the background, and I keep wanting to put the auto harp in here somewhere. It's got to be in there somewhere. But is it?
What's
the? Okay.
That's a man. Yeah, man. That's the auto harp.
I love this song. This song has a lot of different elements with instrumentation. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So Fodder for Zion. What's the meaning behind even just the title of that?
Yeah, well, it's a huge can of worms.
Oh boy.
That one. And it's another. We'll put it this way: I go so far as to say, well, those parts, they're particularly about adventurism and war, and it's that particular spot. That's about it's about this tragic war and destruction that happens in the world. And so, it's about ruins, in cities, after the destruction and all of that. And, it's, we're all, no, we're not all, none of us are. But, so with that in mind, bearing that in mind, if we can put ourselves in that safe place, which I think is where we belong, all of us, I'd say, it's about, please believe me and trust me when I say this. It's about Syria in particular. And it's about that and just how you're affected emotionally sometimes, like we're all influenced by the mediums, and I'm no exception. And so they influence the songs, and they come out in that. And like Fodder for Zion, that's kind of like I've always had a geopolitical interest, and they I feel have without any kind of hate or anything, because I don't. It's all love, and every one of us is to be loved, and through that we can come together. And Zion, like I've always had an obsession with it. Like on the first Groom Epoch album, I say, beware the four-letter word to control the world. And it's very controversial, with the capital C. And one man asked me one time, he said, "What's the four-letter word?" And I went, "Love, man. It's love."
Yeah.
It's not. It's not love. It's Zion.
Is that?
In the darkest moment, on the blackest night, inhabited ruins, you brought the light. Is a racket memorials a host offered for few, death for most. Both sides funded the sway, the public through the propaganda of Khazarian mafia. In the darkest moment, on the blackest night, inhabited ruins, you brought the light.
I want to mention one more song. There's a bunch of them, so
Okay, I can understand.
I don't want to make you feel like I'm dismissing any one of these tracks, because there are a lot of great ones. But I really do love Cosmic Artifice, and I think that's one of those ones that's probably is going to sound a lot like the church, both your vocals and the textures and layers and stuff.
Absolutely.
Probably a lot of fans, like that. But yeah, it's a beautiful song. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy.
Projection in more ways than one. Hollow moon amplifier passes by the sun. Broadcast Saturn.
Well, speaking of some of those songs, I've got a new Groom Epoch album that we're working on at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Number 4. Okay.
Number 4, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So where are you at in that process?
Well, like so far, we're just tracking and tracking bass and and we've tracked the guitar, and so we're working on that, and it's a great process because we've had time to really like look at the songwriting, to really like look at the craft of songwriting and incorporate more of the finesse into the production of the songs. So that's good. I mean, because there's a bit of a time span between the last album and this one, and so we've been taking notes and working on the idea that we're going to make the songs more interesting. Thank you.
Because it's 2019 was the last one. Is that right?
For sure. Yeah, that's correct. 2019. Just before COVID. Just before COVID came in.
So,
I went to the US in 2019 and to record at Studio 66. Dave Ball's studio.
That's right. You mentioned that. Yeah.
Cool. And that was October 2019, and then I just got into the US in time before 2020 and the lockdown started. Yeah.
Wow.
Were you stuck here at that point, or?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Okay.
So I would have loved to.
That's right. You made it in and out just in time, huh?
Absolutely, made it in and out.
I get it.
Because I think it was 2020 in March or something like that, when it was kind of everything was locking down here. Yeah.
Right on. 2020 March. Yeah.
One of our final questions, where you kind of hit on it, were we were going to ask about what's going on new for you musically, so you kind of talked about that.
Well, I've also got this other release recently. It's called The Gaslight Puppet Show.
Oh, what is this? Can you tell us about it? It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, we've got this new album that's been released. We released it this Valentine's Day, February, and it's a 10-track album called Esoterica by The Gaslight Puppet Show. And it's an assorted collection of really cool musicians that are playing on this one. Like we've got the guitarist from an Australian band called the Sunny Boys. And then there's another new guitarist that's in the Groom Epoch these days. He's also playing on it as well. And then a few other local musicians from the town that I'm based in Australia. And then local guys. And then the album came out in February, and it's a 10-track album called Esoterica by The Gaslight Puppet Show. And that's on Golden Robot Records and all the digital platforms.
That's a great band name.
Oh, thank you so much.
Try not to gaslight everyone, though. Okay.
Yes. I think it's kind of like it's one of the political thinkers saying that they're like looking at our the modern political stage on the world stage, and it's akin to a gaslight puppet show.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not elitist when I say that. I mean, me and mine is no exception.
Did you say that came out in May? Is that when you said it came out?
It came out in February 14th.
February.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Is that the same Valentine's Day for you guys? February 14th?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Got to look that up for sure. What's the style of the music?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like it's shall I reference other specific artists' names, like as in bands? I would. Okay, sure. Like it's kind of like it's kind of like Devo, Roxy
Oh,
Music.
cool. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. That sounds
Talking
fun
Heads.
already.
Yes, it's fun. Exactly. You've touched a very, very important point there, Jimmy, and that's fun. Like ultimately, it's a very fun album, and we know that as a formula, the people like to captivate people, that you've got to apply some very strict kind of formulaic nuances in order to
Oh, yeah.
to create the gravity.
Especially these days, right?
Keep people's
Yeah,
attention.
When there's so much, the market, it's so much music out there, right?
man, there is so much music out there, and yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, so it's kind of like that, and yeah, it's really cool sounding. I was really, really happy with the way it's come out, and it's kind of like a segued album, like in so far as the presentation of the tracks. They're all kind of like segued together as a concept album, and like the producer David Pendragon, who's this Arthurian legend, provocateur. He's very well known with his art and his magic, in the area where we live. And he is also, an incredible producer, a wonderful technician. He has a brilliant ear, and he, mixed it and produced it. And yeah, you can hear his great work on the tracks.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't have this question in my list, but it came to me just to ask you, because I know you have a number of children, and I think I've even seen one of your sons on one of the church chat things. He'll mention 100%. You sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's who I first talked to.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
One of Richard's sons.
That's so
okay.
Cool. Yeah.
And I love that. Like he'll talk about, certain things about, you from the church or whatever. But are any of your children, like, are they musically interested or inclined, or have they done anything?
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, Irie is. He's quite encyclopedic. I mean, you'd really enjoy gleaning his knowledge. And putting him to the test. He's very encyclopedic. I mean, it's incredible the amount of whiz kids with encyclopedic musical knowledge goes. I mean, it's incredible, and I'm all right. I pass, but there's some incredible, ones that like the years.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, like the guitarist in the Groom Epoch, he's good. Once you get him warmed up, like my thing is name dropping. Like I'm a name dropper, and I've rubbed shoulders with so many famous people, and I love blowing their minds with all of these famous people in various scenarios that I've rubbed shoulders with, and they just can't believe it. I mean, like looking for a block of hash at Wembley Stadium with Steve and Neil Young on Neil Young's tour bus, to accidentally walking into David Bowie's rehearsal room, and he was recording Tin Machine when the world putting that show together. Yeah, because
cool.
Gee, I thought, they were playing Ashes to Ashes, and I thought that's a Bowie cover band, Classic me.
Did you think that they didn't sound as good though?
It did.
It's the real Bowie.
Oh wait, it's really him.
It was Tin Machine, and I opened the door, and there was David, humbly rehearsing the set, standing at the mic, and I just gently closed the door. It was beautiful, you
didn't go fan geek. You didn't do that. You respected his rehearsal.
I've done that though. I did that with Malcolm Young when we were in the same restaurant. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I love blowing. So I'm the name dropper. The other guys have the encyclopedic knowledge, and yeah, I just have so many interactions with incredibly famous people. It's just bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
But-
I don't. I just know Jim.
You are right now. You're talking.
I am right now. I'm rubbing shoulders across
That's
the the internet.
That's right.
That's all good though, right? Because
Yeah.
the takeaway is that to enforce my fixation, I guess, that we're all just amazing anyway. We're complete powerhouses of infinite power, and every human is the possessor of that. So
Yeah.
it's
Our commonality,
that's really,
right?
yeah, that's really like the mark of the person, famous side, and everyone's got that.
Yeah. You're a star in your world, right? Yeah. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us for a couple hours.
Yeah.
It was great to hear you and hear all your thoughts and perspectives and experiences.
Well, I'm glad, Jimmy and Jim. It's been an incredible pleasure, and I've really appreciated talking to you guys. And yeah, I'm wishing you the best fun under the sun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for
And you as well. And you as well. Thanks so much. Have a good morning. Rest of your morning.
I will. Thank you very, very much. And all the very, very best. And it's been wonderful talking to you.
Same to you. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
My pleasure. You're very welcome.
Take care now.
Shall do. You too, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye now.
And that will wrap it up for our conversation with Richard Ploog. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as Jim and I did. Again, we really enjoyed hearing about Richard's perspective and the way he sees things and the way he makes music and approaches it. And we really thank you for joining us on these 2 episodes. Please be sure to go and check out all of Richard's work, both with the church and all of the other various entities that he's been involved in. Ibogain, the band Groom Epoch, which is getting ready to come out with their 4th album, and most recently, the Gaslight Puppet Show. You can find them all on all the various streaming platforms, and I really encourage you to check them out, as well as the early albums of the church that Richard was involved in and lent his unique driving force to with his drumming prowess. Thank you so much to those of you who have been here before and come back for more. You know how much I appreciate it because I keep telling you over and over again every time I wrap up an episode. So I'm trying to make sure you know how much I appreciate you. And I'm so thankful for those of you who reach out to me regularly to tell me how much you're enjoying the episodes, or maybe episodes that you might want to hear, or even noting the little funny, quirky things that I throw in there that make you chuckle or raise your eyebrows or whatever it might be. I'm currently working on the next episode as I speak. Okay, not right at this moment. I'm not working on it because I'm recording this outro, but it definitely has been part of my days and evenings, and I am working furiously to get this conversation edited. It is a conversation with none other than John Smaby and Todd Zeller of the Us Kids documentary that so many of you have heard about and are so excited about and have supported. The full title is Us Kids, an Alternative Music Rebellion, which is a documentary film about the early fringe Christian alternative music scene in Southern California that was taking place in the early 80s and moving into the 90s. So I'm so excited about this. And for those of you who aren't familiar with any of this, I hope you'll enjoy this episode, but I know there are quite a few fans of this show who share the same type of upbringing and history, and we're immersed in the same culture. You really love all of these bands, and they've meant so much to you. So it was great to sit down with John and Todd, and we had a lot of funny moments and great conversation. And we learned a little bit about them and their history and how they got into music and what made them who they are. and how this project came about. And there's so much excitement surrounding this project. So I'm super excited about that. We're hoping to see this film begin to pop up early in 2026. I don't think there's any concrete timeline right now, so something to look forward to, but maybe this conversation will continue to whet your appetite. You can also hear Todd and Spun Counter Guy, his co-host on the podcast Orphans of God. There's some great episodes on there that I've listened to and enjoyed. So peace and love to you, and I'm sending warm regards and sonic reverberations your way. Take care.